This is the Audi SQ8, one of the top performance SUVs out right now with one of the top engines. A 4-litre TDI diesel that makes a quite astonishing 900 Newton meters of torque. We've got the new one for 2020 and we are about to take it for a drive.
Look, that's the petrol.
Huh?
They made the petrol.
They made a petrol. Sweet.
You gotta get that pump. You can't drive that now.
Oh, that's the good stuff. Yes. By ditching dirty diesel in favor of slightly less dirty petrol, the SQ8 has transformed from fairly good to really good. Instead of a 4-litre TDI diesel V8, it now uses a 4-litre TFSI petrol V8. Basically the same engine you get in the mad as a box of frogs Audi RS Q8 and Audi RS6. It's a slightly detuned version, smaller turbos, but still big impact, and it transforms this car. Don't get me wrong, I was a big fan of the diesel in the previous SQ8. It had massive acceleration, it could do 0 to 62 in under 5 seconds. It had huge torque, over 900 Newton meters, and it even sounded like a proper V8. But you couldn't get away from the fact that above 3,500 RPM, it couldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding. This thing pulls like a savage all the way up to 5,500 RPM. It is glorious. The engine makes 507 horsepower, 72 horsepower more than the diesel ever could. Yes, the diesel had 900 Newton meters of torque, but you get 770 here. And the fact that it has way more power means it feels significantly stronger. Okay, you know the drill. Do not attempt, professional driver, filmed in Mexico, all that stuff. Dynamic mode on, traction off, lots of gas, lots of brake, try not to die, send it. Oh, she's strong. Oh, violent gear change, and that is 62. According to the car's onboard lap timer, the SQ8 managed 0 to 62 in 4 seconds dead, slightly quicker than Audi claims, and later in the day, we managed to record it in 3.9. But what about top speed? If only we could find a de-restricted stretch of Autobahn. Oh, there's one. Come on, baby. It's 85, 90, 101, 110, 115, 120. Come on, SQ8. Petrol power. 130, 140, 155, 156, 158, 160 indicated, and I'm backing out. Ooh, fake news Audi, 155 my backside. This thing's much quicker than that. I wonder how fast it can go. I wonder how fast it can actually go. Let's try one more. It's 144. 160, 161, 162, 163, 164, 165, 165 miles an hour, flat out. That is the limit. 10 miles per hour more than Audi claim. This is a quick car. So, now we've established that this is a fast car, we need a post-mortem. Why is it that so many people, including Audi, are falling out of love with diesel? Dieselgate. Sorry, pollen. Well, think about it. A lot of cities are moving away from diesels because diesels, let's face it, can be quite dirty and polluting things. And if you're Audi, how can you sell a fancy SUV if it's running on fuel that's going out of fashion? Speaking of fashion, the SQ8 has always been a looker. and it still is. Audi haven't made any changes to the exterior of the petrol model, so it still has the same menacing grille, enormous 23-inch wheels, and the sloping coupe-inspired back end. Inside is the same too, with bags of space in the boot and the rear cabin, and a practical, feature-filled front. If you want to find out more about this car's interior detail, then click the pop-out banner above, or hit the link to our previous SQ8 review in the description below. We already know that Audi make brilliant fast SUVs. The previous SQ8 was testament to that. It was such a good car to drive, and this new one is no different. All SQ8s come as standard with adaptive air suspension, so if you want to, you can cruise around quietly and comfortably, no problem whatsoever. But when you want to drive like a hooligan, it lets you do that all day long. One of the problems with these massive SUVs is, of course, understeer. They shouldn't handle really well through corners, but Audi have thrown a lot of technology at the problem. As standard, all SQ8s come with all-wheel steering, so the rear wheels turn in the opposite direction to the front wheels by up to 5 degrees below 37 miles an hour. Above 37 miles an hour, the rear wheels turn slightly in the same direction as the front wheels to help improve stability, and it really works. If you want to go even further, top spec versions of the SQ8 also come with the advanced suspension package, which includes electronic anti-roll control and an active rear diff. The active roll control is brilliant. Essentially it uses a pair of motors on the front and rear axle that twist the anti-roll bar in such a way that it forces the outside wheel downwards and the body upwards to help keep the entire car flat as it goes through the bends. As for that rear diff, well, it overspeeds the rear wheel in a corner and just helps the nose to get tucked in, and the entire system works like a dream. This car doesn't understeer one bit. As for the gearbox, well, that's really good as well. It uses an 8-speed S-tronic automatic that is pretty responsive. When you shift up, it's super engaging. The entire car shakes, gives you a kick in the back, and helps you feel super engaged with the driving experience. And it sounds incredible. Prices for the SQ8 start at £83,000, £5 grand more than the new SQ7, which also uses this new engine. So it's not cheap, and it's not cheap to run. Having a big V8 is potentially catastrophic for fuel economy, and without Audi's mild hybrid tech, we saw some pretty poor figures, around 21 miles per gallon when driving sensibly. The diesel could manage over 30, but that's the price you pay for performance. As a fan of big, fast SUVs and V8 powered cars in general, I applaud what Audi have done with this. The end result is a much better car than it used to be. It's much faster, it's much more fun, and much more engaging than it ever was. I can't help but thinking this is definitely a short-term solution. Electrification is 100% the future, but while it lasts, let's enjoy it. And I am enjoying it.